My daughter's babysitter left a list of rules. I broke the worst one. I should have canceled the moment I saw the list. Now when my daughter cried the second the babysitter walked in. 2-year-olds cry about everything. Now when my wife, Megan, squeezed my hand in the elevator like we were committing a crime just by leaving the house together for the first time in months. Not even when the girl smiled a little too politely and said,
I have my little rules. Is that okay?
I should have canceled when she handed me the paper. Because a 19-year-old babysitter should not write rules as if she were leaving instructions for a house that had already killed someone. My name is Daniel. I was 34 that night. I worked in insurance, lived in an ordinary apartment building on an ordinary street. And I love that word. Ordinary. After Lily was born, ordinary became the best thing anything could be. Lily was 2 years and 3 months old. She still cut words in half. She still called cartoons tunes. She still woke up in the dark reaching for her mother with one open little hand. Megan and I had not gone out together since before Lily's first birthday. It was not because we did not want to. It was fear. Fear of choking. Fear of fever. Fear of crying. Fear of guilt. Fear of leaving our daughter for 3 hours and discovering we no longer knew how to be a couple without checking the baby monitor every 2 minutes. The babysitter had been recommended by our neighbor, Mrs. Palmer from 704.
Call Lydia. She watched my nephews twice. Quiet girl. Responsible. The kind who doesn't sit there staring at her phone.
Quiet and responsible were 2 words that worked on me. Megan checked the girl's profile. Simple photos. One in a school uniform. One with an older woman. One holding a birthday cake. Nothing strange. Nothing that explained the nod I would feel later. Lydia arrived at 7:20 that evening. She was shorter than I expected, thin, with her hair tied in a low ponytail and a gray backpack on her shoulders. She wore a plain navy shirt and spoke softly, but not shyly. She looked people in the eye when she answered. She did not touch her phone once. Lily was sitting on the living room rug, surrounded by color blocks, when Lydia knelt at a careful distance.
Hi, Lily.
My daughter looked at her, and she looked at me. She did not cry. She only closed her hand around a yellow block and sat in her lap. Megan let out a breath of relief. I started explaining things the way a father does when he is trying to sound calm. Dinner was ready. Pajamas were on the dresser. The overnight diaper was in the top drawer. The fever medicine was in the bathroom cabinet, but only if it was necessary, and she should call first. The bedroom camera could be opened through the app. The pediatrician's number was taped to the refrigerator. Lydia listened to all of it carefully. By 7:50, Lily had accepted that this new person existed. She was not playing with Lydia, but she was not running away either. For us, that was a victory. Megan went to the bedroom to fix her makeup. I stayed in the kitchen, filling a small water bottle. That was when Lydia appeared in the doorway.
Mr. Daniel?
I hated the mister. It made me feel old and, somehow, like a child at the same time. You can call me Daniel. She smiled.
Daniel. Then, before you leave, I need to go over something.
She opened her backpack and took out a folded sheet of notebook paper. Blue lines. Red margin. The rules were written by hand, small and slanted. It did not look like a joke.
I have my little rules. Mostly so I can do my job properly. Parents always think they are strange at first.
I laughed, because that is what adults do when they do not know where to put discomfort. Babysitter rules?
House rules.
That was the first time I should have stopped. Megan came back from the hall, putting in an earring.
What rules?
Lydia held the paper out to me, not to her.
There are 6. You need to read them before you leave.
I read. At the top of the page, it said, rules for the night, T.O., go well below it. The first line began in a way I still hear when I close my eyes. Rule number 1, do not call me between 10 p.m. and midnight. But it did not only say that. The full rule said, rule number 1, do not call me between 10 p.m. and midnight. During that time, I will be busy keeping Lily accompanied. If you call, I will have to choose between answering you and continuing to look at her. Do not put me in that position. If it is a real emergency, send only one text with the word come. Do not explain. Do not send a voice message. Do not ask if everything is all right. If I answer, wait. If I answer, come without calling. Megan read over my shoulder.
Is this serious?
Lydia did not look offended.
That is the time when small children notice their parents are gone the most. Sometimes they start crying, and it gets worse if they hear your voice.
It was an acceptable explanation. Strange, but acceptable. I kept reading. Rule number 2, after 9 p.m. Lily cannot drink water. If she asks for water, offer her a juice box. If she refuses the juice and keeps asking for water, do not argue. Just say, not tonight. A thirsty child will accept anything. A child who asks for water after 9, holding the cup with both hands, is not asking to drink. She's trying to rinse her mouth so she can say one whole word. I stopped. What does that mean? Lydia looked at the water bottle I had just filled.
Does she usually ask for water at night?
Sometimes.
With both hands?
I did not answer, because I had already answered in my head. Yes. Lily had a habit of holding her cup with both hands when she was sleepy. It was not strange. It had been cute, at least until that moment. Megan took the paper from my hand.
Daniel, this is ridiculous.
The word ridiculous came out too loud. Lily, on the rug, looked up. Lydia only lowered her voice.
It can seem that way.
I would rather you think it is ridiculous before, not after.
The third rule was right below it. Rule number 3, if the bedroom camera freezes, do not refresh the app more than once. The first frozen image still belongs to the camera. The second one might not. If the screen freezes and Lily appears sitting in her crib looking at the door, close the app. Do not turn up the brightness. Do not take a screenshot. Do not show the image to each other. Some things only learn a person's face when they notice they have been watched. Megan handed the paper back to me as if it were dirty.
I don't tea like this.
Neither did I. But there was a cowardly part of me, a very ordinary part, that did not want to cancel the night. I had reserved the restaurant. Megan had spent an hour choosing what to wear. We both needed to pretend, for a few hours, that there was still a life outside our daughter's room. So I did what cowardly people do. I turned fear into a joke. You write well for someone who babysits. Lydia did not smile.
I babysit because I wrote badly the first time.
The kitchen went quiet. I should have asked what that meant. Instead, I kept reading. Rule number 4. If Lily calls either of you by your full name during a call or from behind a door, do not answer. She calls you mommy and daddy. Any voice that uses Daniel or Megan, learn those names by listening to adults. And whatever learns by listening to adults likes to be treated like one. This time, Megan was the one who swallowed hard.
She knows our names.
Knowing is different from using.
The 5th rule was shorter, but it was the one that made me want to tear the paper in half. Rule number 5. When you come back, do not enter immediately. Ring the bell and wait for me to open the door. Even if the door is unlocked. Even if you hear Lily crying. Especially if you hear Lily laughing. If I ask who is here, answer only the parents. Do not say your names in the hallway. My building had cameras, a doorman, neighbors. The idea of standing outside my own apartment waiting for a 19-year-old girl to authorize my entry irritated me almost physically. Okay, that one doesn't work for me. Lydia finally looked young. For 1 second, she was only a tired girl with faint shadows under her eyes and a backpack that seemed too heavy.
Daniel, you do not have to follow them. She is your daughter.
But
Lydia looked toward Lily's bedroom door, even though Lily was still in the living room.
But when a small child understands that her parents have left, something in the home tries to fill that place. Usually it is only a tantrum, a fever, a nightmare. Usually.
I read the last rule because I wanted the whole thing over. Rule number 6, when I leave, do not thank me by using my name. Pay me, say goodnight, and let me get into the elevator before you say anything about Lily. If you say, thank you, Lydia, inside the apartment, something may understand that I was invited to come back. And I did not want to come back unless I am called. I stared at the paper. The handwriting was firm, with no corrections. Megan spoke first.
you understand how this sounds?
I do.
And you still expect us to leave?
No.
I expect you to choose. But if you leave, I need you to choose correctly.
From the living room, Lily said one word.
Water.
All three of us turned at the same time. She was sitting on the rug, holding the yellow block with both hands. It was not a cup. It was a block. Even so, for some reason, I took the little bottle off the counter and put it inside a cabinet. Megan looked at me as if I betrayed the logic of our marriage.
Daniel,
Just for tonight. Lydia folded the paper and left it on the counter.
I will get the juice ready.
We left at 8:12. Lily did not cry at the door. That should have comforted me. She stayed in Lydia's arms, her head resting on the babysitter's shoulder, watching us without expression. She did not wave. She did not ask to be picked up. She only observed. When the door closed, Megan started crying in the hallway.
we shouldn't go.
I hugged my wife in front of the elevator. We will stay close. If anything happens, we come back.
Are you worried?
I looked at the apartment door. There was no sound coming from inside. I'm trying not to be. The restaurant was 11 minutes away. We sat at a table by the window. Megan ordered pasta. I ordered whatever the waiter recommended. Neither of us really ate. Every few minutes, I opened camera app. At 8:40, Lily was in the living room with Lydia, stacking blocks. At 9:05, she was in pajamas on the couch, drinking from a juice box. At 9:20, Lydia appeared in the bedroom camera, adjusting the crib. At 9:34, Lily was lying down. Megan smiled for the first time that night.
She looks okay.
On the screen, Lydia brushed Lily's hair with a tenderness that was almost maternal. She does. I wanted to say the girl was good. That Mrs. Palmer had been right. That we were exhausted parents frightened by a sheet of notebook paper. Then the camera froze. The image stopped at 9:58. Lily was lying on her side, face turned to the wall. Lydia was sitting on the floor beside the crib, out of focus. It froze. Megan took the phone.
Refresh it.
I remembered the third rule. If the bedroom camera freezes, do not refresh the app more than once. Only once.
Daniel,
Only one time. She tapped. The screen went black. It came back. Now Lily was sitting in her crib. The room looked darker than before. Lydia was still on the floor, but with her back to the camera. Her head was tilted down, as if she were listening to something very close to the rug. Lily was looking at the door. Not at the camera. At the door. Megan put her hand over her mouth.
she sat up.
The phone felt heavy in my hand. Children sit up.
She was asleep.
Children wake up. I was doing it again, holding on to a version of the world that still fit into simple sentences. Then Lily smiled. Not her open smile, the one that showed crooked little teeth and wrinkled her nose. This one was small, controlled, as if someone had explained from the outside how a smile was done.
Close it.
I closed the app. The waiter came over and asked if everything was all right. I said yes in a voice that did not sound like mine. At 10 o'clock, my phone vibrated. A message from Lydia. Everything under control. Do not call. Megan, read it with me.
She knows we saw.
Maybe she saw the camera freeze.
Daniel,
The way Megan said my name made me remember the fourth rule. If Lily calls either of you by your full name, do not answer. It was absurd. My wife could say my name. Of course she could. Even so, for a few seconds, I wanted to ask her to call me honey. At 10:17, another message arrived. She asked for water. I gave her juice. She refused. She is quiet now. Megan stood up.
we were going home.
I wanted to go, but there was something worse than fear in that moment. The doubt that I might do the wrong thing while trying to protect her. The rule said to text come if it was an emergency.
Our daughter asked for water and refused juice. Is that an emergency?
I did not know. No one prepares you to decide whether a sentence written by a teenage babysitter is nonsense or a survival manual. Megan started typing. I grabbed her hand. Don't send anything long.
I am her mother.
I know.
Then let go.
She pulled her hand away. The message went out before I could stop it. Lydia, what is happening? Answer me now. We stared at the screen. 1 minute. 2. 5. Nothing. At 10:26, the reply came. I'm not the one holding the phone. Megan dropped the phone onto the table. I stood so fast I hit my knee. In the parking lot, while I unlocked the car, my phone started ringing. It was Lydia's number. No contact photo appeared because I had not saved it. Only the number, glowing in the dark car. Megan was white.
Dante, answer.
I did not answer. The call stopped. It rang again. Stopped. Rang a third time. On the fourth, it ended before the first ring finished. Then a voice message arrived. 10 seconds.
No.
Maybe it is her.
The rule said not to send voice messages.
The rule said we should not send them. I pressed play. At first, there was only breathing. Then Lily spoke. But Lily did not speak like that. My daughter had a small, tangled voice full of missing syllables. In the recording, the voice was hers and not hers. The words came out too clean, as if they had been built from pieces of adults.
Daniel. Megan. The door is open.
Megan made a sound I had never heard from her. It was not crying. It was a tear in the air. I drove back without remembering the road. We reached the building at 10:43. The doorman, Mr. Alvarez, stood up when he saw us.
Back already?
Did anything happen?
No. Everything quiet.
Did the babysitter come down?
No, sir.
We rode up without speaking. In the elevator, Megan shook so hard that the keys inside her purse clicked together. When we reached our floor, the hallway light flickered. Once. Twice. Then it steadied. The apartment door was closed. There was no crying. No laughter. I moved closer and almost put the key in the lock. Megan caught my arm.
Rule 5.
I stood there, breathing hard. I rang the bell. Inside, silence. I rang again. This time, we heard footsteps. Slow. Barefoot. They stopped on the other side of the door. A voice asked.
Who is here?
It was Lydia. Or it sounded like Lydia. I pressed my forehead to the wood, too relieved to think. Daniel and Megan. The second I said it, Megan closed her eyes. I understood too. That was not what the rule said. The rule said, answer only the parents. The lock turned. The door opened about 4 inches. Lydia appeared in the gap. Her hair was loose now. There was a dark stain on the shoulder of her shirt, but it did not look like blood. It looked like juice. She looked at me with such sadness that I felt angry. Because it was the sadness of someone who already knew.
I asked one simple thing.
Where is my daughter?
Dante come in yet?
But Megan was a mother before she was a person. She pushed the door with her body and went through. I followed. The living room was too neat. The colored blocks had been stacked in the center of the rug, forming a perfect tower. Yellow, red, blue, green. Repeating. As if someone had infinite patience for organizing a child as toys. The television was off. The kitchen light was on. On the counter were 3 empty juice boxes. All pierced in the same place. All folded with care.
Lily,
Dante, call her.
get out of my way.
My wife ran to the hallway. I looked at Lydia. What did you do?
I stayed busy.
And she pointed to the bedroom. Lily's door was half open. A weak yellowish light came from inside, as if the lamp were covered by cloth. Megan was already at the doorway when I reached the hall.
Lily,
My daughter was sitting in the crib. Whole. Alive. In pajamas. Holding a plastic cup with both hands. The first thing I felt was relief. The second was horror. Because the cup was empty. And Lily was moving her mouth without sound, like someone rinsing a word. Lydia appeared behind me.
Dante, let her drink water.
she is thirsty.
It is not thirst.
She is a child.
Tonight. Not only that.
Lily looked at us and smiled. That same small smile from the camera.
Daddy.
Her voice came out normal. Small. Hers. I took one step.
Wait.
Lily tilted her head.
Daniel.
Megan covered her mouth with both hands. I stopped. Something clicked inside the room. A low wooden sound from the closet, as if the boards were accepting weight. The closet door was closed, but the dark line beneath it looked too deep. Lydia went in first. Slowly. She did not look at the closet. She looked only at Lily.
She did not say your name.
She did.
That was not her.
Lily tapped the cup against the crib rail. Once. Twice. 3 times. On the third tap, the closet door opened 1 finger wide. Megan let out a small broken sound. I saw only one thing through the gap. Fingers. Not whole fingers. Just pale tips, too long, resting on the closet floor from the inside, as if someone were crouched there, waiting for permission to come out. Lydia spoke without turning.
Lily, look at me.
My daughter did not look. She kept staring at me.
Daddy. Water.
That went straight through my chest. It was her voice. It was thirst. It was a request. It was my daughter. I forgot rules. Camera, list, babysitter, everything. I took the cup from her hand.
Daniel.
No.
I went to the bathroom. I filled the cup. When I came back, the room was cold. Megan stood beside the crib, crying without sound. Lydia had both hands clenched. Lily reached her arms toward me.
Water.
I gave it to her. She drank all of it at once. A 2-year-old does not drink like that. Not without choking. Not without breathing. When she finished, she lowered the cup and opened her mouth. For an instant, I thought she would cough. But another voice came out. Low. Adult. Wet.
Thank you, Daniel.
The closet door opened wider. Lydia stepped back.
Now, Dante, say my name.
What?
When I leave. Do not say my name.
The room began to smell like damp cloth shut away for years. Lily laid down in the crib, closed her eyes, and slept. Just like that. As if nothing had happened. The closet door remained open. There was no one inside. Only Lily's little dresses swaying slightly, even though the window was closed. Lydia picked up her backpack from the living room. Her hands were trembling now.
You need to let her sleep until morning. Do not go in if she calls. Do not give her water. Do not open the closet. Tomorrow, take that cup out of the house. Dante, wash it. Throw it away far from here.
Megan sat on the hallway floor, our daughter finally safe in the crib and somehow farther away than ever. I walked Lydia to the door. My head buzzed. What was that?
Something that likes to be necessary.
What does that mean?
It means it does not come in like a monster. It comes in as a request. Water. A hug. Mommy. Daddy. It comes in where you are afraid to say no.
Lydia pressed the elevator button. The doors opened immediately, as if they had been waiting. I took the agreed money from my wallet. More than double. I handed it to her. She accepted it without counting. Good night. She stepped into the elevator. The doors began to close. And I, idiot, polite, desperate to turn that night into something human, said, "Thank you, Lydia." The doors stopped. They did not close. Lydia raised her eyes to me. For 1 second, she looked more afraid than she had all night. Behind her, in the elevator mirror, someone was there. Not a whole person. Only the impression of a very tall woman, bent forward, her arms around Lydia's shoulders, as if she were learning her shape. Lydia did not turn around. She only whispered.
Now it knows I come back.
The doors closed. I spent that night sitting in the apartment hallway, my back against the wall, staring at my daughter's bedroom door. Megan slept on the floor, against the doorframe, after crying until she had no strength left. Lily did not call, did not cry, did not ask for water. At 6:12 in the morning, we heard a little laugh from the room. Small, normal, childlike. Megan stood before I did. I caught her hand. Wait. She looked at me with tired hatred, but she waited. When we opened the door, Lily was standing in her crib, smiling her smile. The real one. Wrinkled nose, crooked little teeth, messy hair.
Mommy.
Megan picked her daughter up and cried again, this time with sound. I went to the closet. Closed. The cup was on the floor beside the crib. Empty. I carried that cup to a trash can in a park 8 blocks away. I did not wash it. I did not look inside. I threw it away and left. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. Lily asked for cartoons again. She threw tantrums over clothes again. She went back to calling water Wawa, with the missing piece exactly where it belonged. Megan and I never went out again. We also never talked about Lydia. Until the 3rd Friday. I was coming home from work when I saw a girl standing on the sidewalk in front of her building. For 1 second, I thought it was her, but it was someone else. Maybe younger. Curly hair, pink backpack, looking at the intercom with a folded paper in her hand. I walked past her slowly. She pressed the button for 704. Mrs. Palmer S. apartment. My neighbor's cheerful voice came through the speaker.
Hi, sweetheart. Come on up.
The girl entered the building. When a glass door closed, she looked at me and smiled. Not her smile. The other one. Small. Controlled. Taut. That night, at exactly 10, my phone vibrated. Unknown number. The message said, "I am in 704. They have a 3-year-old boy." He asked for water. Then another message arrived. "Do you remember the rules, Daniel?" I did not answer. I did not call. I did not go upstairs. I sat in the dark living room, with Lily asleep in her bedroom and Megan breathing slowly beside me. At 10:26, I heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow. Barefoot. They stopped in front of our door. A girl's voice, very low, asked.
Who is here?
Megan opened her eyes. I put my hand over her mouth before she could speak. Because now I know. Some things do not enter when the door opens. They enter when you answer. And that night, from the other side of the wood, a voice that sounded like Lydia whispered my full name one last time before laughing. Daniel. I stayed quiet. But Lily, in the bedroom, answered.
Daddy?